Welcome, everybody. I'm Women's Grandmaster Dina Belenke, and this is your favorite series, Speedrun, Episode 5. Today we grind starting from 8,000. As usual, this series are dedicated to my late friend, Daniel Naroditsky. I'm gonna try to explain all my moves and make it as educational as I can. I'll be playing 5 minutes for now, because I believe that's enough time for me to explain all my moves. So far, we are in the opening stage, so everything is pretty basic. I'm just developing, controlling the center, and trying to save my bishop. Okay, attacks my bishop, I save it, bishop d3. I believe it's not a good move, necessarily. I mean, it's a good move, but it's not the best place for the bishop, because the bishop is stuck in front of the g6 pawn, which is quite limiting. Bishop g5. So that I definitely condemn, because if you don't want to trade, it's fine, but you should not give away certain squares that are important for you. And also, how are you going to castle now? Because my bishop is attacking here. Yeah, the bishop on f4 was good. You can either go back or trade, right? But you should definitely not walk away because you give me the diagonal. And this is completely unnecessary. So I was just going to say that the bishop is random, but then my opponent just gave me the bishop. And there is no attack, so it's just a bishop for 2 pawns. I was just gonna say that the queen and the bishop are staring into the wall until my opponent decided to break their head on this wall. And now they're thinking, yeah, of course, first we sacrifice and then they think. Knight d2, okay, development. Now you develop. Knight e7, because we want to kick the queen out. And then we can play like queen f5, knight f5, or even not. Maybe just trade. Queen goes back. Honestly, I'm not sure if I want to trade, but maybe because I don't want to open their file, right? Maybe I bring my queen to kind of defend my light squares, even though they're already defended, but defend even more. I like that all my pieces are in harmony. Bishop taking the knight. How many moves did this bishop move already? So once again, white cannot castle. Knight f3, trying to make it up for it. I wonder if I should trade the queens or if I should keep it like the attack. I feel like I have a strong initiative here, so I don't want to trade yet. The queens, I might be able to create some attack. I mean, obviously my opponent has to castle long. I don't know if they want it or not. And then push pawns. I'm gonna push f5 to stop all the pawn marches here. Yeah, I'm gonna try to stop these pawns. Knight e5 is great for me because I can trade, double their pawns, connect my rooks. Every time I'm up material, I want to trade. So this is a totally good move for me. Totally. And now e5 is slight weakness. Queen a4 is an attempt to attack a7. I protect and improve my knight and also attack e5, f4, kind of necessary. Now there is queen e2, double attack to e3 and g2. Let's see where they're going. The pawn is attacked. Okay, queen e2, I'm checking, and I believe now I can already trade the rooks. I can try to get more space. I'm forcing g3 so that I could go rook h3 and block the h2. Now h2 is a weakness. You can see that I'm attacking it. My opponent is protecting it, which is fine, but they cannot do anything other than that. Now I'm going to try to think how I bring my knight. King d3. There is tactic here. You see this rook passively defending. When the rook is passively defending, oftentimes it's unprotected. And here I can just take the pawn, and when the pawn takes back, I take the rook, and therefore I won the pawn. And now I'm going to go after another pawn. Oh, I think rook g1 would be better. b4. I'm pushing c4, and then I'm pushing d4, and then I'm taking the pawn on b4. I want to break my opponent's pawn structure and get an outpost and get a passed pawn on c4. So this is an outpost. This is a, oh, yeah, b5, a5. Now b4 is going to be pushed. And look how this d4 pawn, it's a backwards pawn. It's completely out of the play. By the way, I missed the fork. Let's see what my opponent is going to do. They go this way. I just bring the king because it's always good to remind ourselves that we can absolutely win with the king, and it's a checkmate inevitable. So GG's, that's a game number 1. Honestly, we'll quickly take a look at it, right? Because I know you guys love the game reviews. I would say there isn't that much to say. The first mistake to me was knight. Okay, knight h4 is fine, but the first mistake is probably the serious mistake is bishop g5. As I said, when you have this standoff, you don't want to trade. You don't have to trade first. Here, white could either castle or take or go back on g3. But the problem with bishop g5, even though computer says it's fine right now, the problem with this move is that you kind of giving away this important diagonal. So yeah, that's the issue. Okay, c5, c3, queen c2. Queen c2 is fine, but assuming that you have an attack is a little bit naive, and that's obviously the deciding factor. That wasn't great. And then bishop f6 is unnecessary because you also improve my pawn structure. This pawn was lonely and this pawn was lonely, but now they're all together. Game number 2. So d4. Let's start with controlling the center with d4. d5, c4. I love the avatar, knight f6. Oh shit, knight f6 is not great because, yeah, because you take on d5, knight takes back, and then you have the whole center for yourself. And that's a clear advantage. Knight c6 was also a mistake. e6 was an option because I played, like I rushed. And e6 was a way to redeem yourself, but it didn't happen. e5 is an attempt. It is not gonna work because I am gonna pin this knight. I'm gonna ask the knight to get away from here, get out. Knight e7, a little bit passive. We can perhaps already play queen. Let me think. Let me think where I want to go. I wonder if queen b3 is a good move. There is c6, of course, which is a slight complication. Knight, yeah, so the fact that you have to move the knight twice doesn't help. And I set a trap and you fell for it. So I'm winning the pawn now. Attacking the rook. Going with my other knight on f3. Queen c8 is an attempt, but after queen c6, queen cannot go to d7 because then the rook is not protected anymore. So the king has to move and then the bishop comes in. I guess I can go after... Oh no, I cannot go after the second rook. That was a slip on my end. Because, yeah, you can just do anything, honestly. Knight f3, I don't want to move my bishop. I wanted them to take so that I can bring the knight in. Once again, I'm making a move that has two ideas. Protect the bishop and develop the knight. A move is always stronger than it has two ideas. And the castle, of course. Finish the development. Queen d7 is fine. I just remove my queen. I don't want to... And when you were trying to trade, I'm still gonna avoid the trade and win the pawn. Oh, wait a second. No, bishop c5 wasn't possible. I got scared for a moment. Oh, I can even make this fun move queen a3. Oh no, but then there is a f6. So I should just be... If I go queen a8, there's rook b8. So I should just be calm and composed. And just go back to e3. Queen e7. My opponent is kind of wasting a bit of their time. So I can either trade rooks or push a4. And I think I'm just going to push a4 because it's my pass pawn. And when you have a pass pawn, especially such a extended, far extended pass pawn, you can just move it. F6, good try. My bishop is attacked. I have to retreat. If they take, I take with a knight. Knight f4 is definitely better because my bishop doesn't have any value there, but I continue pushing. There is queen g4. There's g5. Bishop g3. Okay. Queen g4. I would have to. I would still play bishop g3. Yep. So let's see where's my opponent going. A6, a7, bishop d6. I don't know what's that for. Careful. Yeah, you gotta do that. Rook b8, a7, rook a8, and now I'm preparing my rook b8. King e7, protecting from rook b8. Okay, but I have this very nice c4 with idea c5, trapping the bishop. h5, I go c5, trapping the bishop. h4, I just take, and then I take with a check. And so they cannot take my queen, and I'm up a piece. I also want to play queen b8, beautiful move. Kind of try to look up. Oh no, my queen, oh my goodness. Actually, I don't have a threat. Oh no, I do. There is rook b7 threat. Yeah, there is a threat, rook b7. Rook b7, and if they take... Ironically, I won't be able to take then, because then I would have my last rank threat like rook b7. They take on b8. And if I take on b8, they can still... Oh, they can play rook a7. That's not great. So I'm going to play h3. And after h3, my king is never ever again in danger. So I think now I can play rook b7. And if they take, I just promote. If they go that way. Oh, that's a good move. Oh, that's a great move. Wait a second. I have to do this. I just have to, because I have to protect on b8. That's a very good resilience from my opponent. Yep. Queen? Wait, king h5? Where's the king going? So if I play queen takes a8, rook takes a8, and then I play rook b8, I'm attacking both the queen and the rook. I'm not sure though this is exactly what I want. Oh, I can set up a beautiful trap. Rook h7, king g6 forced, and now rook b7 threatening the checkmate. Yeah, that's nice. Rook takes queen, but checkmate. Nice. Okay, let's take a look at this game. What were the mistakes here? So, as I said, knight f6 is a mistake, and the strongest... I thought Bro. I thought I declined all the notifications. So the strongest move here would be to take after knight takes e4, and you got the center, and you are like wonderful, right? But I play too fast, and here you gotta play e6, so that you always want to take with the pawn on d5 because you want to keep this center with the pawn control. My opponent played knight c6, and now after capture, knight takes e4. Still, I am having a huge advantage in the center. And then... yeah, this is a bit hit or miss because there is a c6. That was a little bit me playing for the trap, which I usually don't recommend. what would be the best move here? Probably I can easily just take. Let's take a look at the engine, which I usually don't do. Bishop takes d7 is the best. Yeah, after queen takes, you go knight f3. You just play simple chess and you have a very solid advantage. Okay. And other than that, bishop d7, queen takes. Yeah, I don't think there was anything particular. Let's go next game. 10-20. Okay, let's play e4 this time. c6, Caro-Kann-Lovitz, d4, d5. Ooh. How about knight c3? Takes, knight takes. Bishop f5, knight g3. The theory is bishop g6. I don't see a reason why a 1000 rated player should know Caro-Kann theory by heart. h5 is inaccuracy. Oh, maybe I also did a mistake by blundering this pawn on d4, and I should have played knight f3 first. Oh, silly me, silly me. But bishop d3 is not the strongest because I protect the pawn. g6, another pawn move? Whoa, 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 whoa. Careful, I just developed a castle. That seems to me like a little bit too weakening. A little bit off, honestly. Let's go with bishop g5. You never know. King castle. So we develop our rook. We bring the rook to the center. Bring the rook to the center. Knight d7. We go c4. We take more center control. Somewhere maybe I want to start the attack. Not now though. e6. So e6, I'll probably remove my queen from this file because I want to have my rook there. I want to have an x-ray for the queen. I want to play knight e5. The strongest would be queen c7. Queen b6 is probably also fine. I just bring another rook and I finish my development like that. All my pieces are on good squares. Thank you, Zex, for subscribing. Zex4. These real players. Oh yeah, absolutely. These players are very real. Knight to h7. Little bit passive. How about we play bishop e3 and we look at the queen and say, are you comfortable there with my vis-a-vis? Are you comfortable there with my vis-a-vis? Queen to c7. Okay. I go knight to e5. You go knight to e5. Knight f6 back. Well, I'm going to continue dominating the field. So I go knight g5. There is, of course, knight g4. Slightly uncomfortable. My opponent didn't play it. Huh. So e5 is potentially in the air, and that's not the best thing for me. Probably because I don't want to trade all that. I don't want to simplify. I do want to put my knight on e5, but then I probably would end up losing a pawn. It's almost like prophylactical thinking would be just to remove the bishop and have the control of the e5 with my rook. Knight g5 is good. Yeah, it's a good move. Now maybe there is a way we could... I mean, they still want to play e5. That's quite annoying. I'm not gonna lie, that's quite annoying. What if on e5 we play d5? I need to think here. d5, pawn takes, rook takes. Right? Yeah, or I can play g3, but I don't want to like weaken. when we can, and then e5, d5. Maybe we remove the queen and did e5, d5, f5. Huh. You know what? Let's play queen b3. Like, you never know, but sometimes this actually might be good for us. My knight is solid here. So e5, d5. Yeah. e5, d5 is good. Very good. C5. I guess my reaction is the same, d5. I want to continue taking space. Как привлечь любовь к шахматам моему 9-летнему сыну? Надо найти мотивацию для него. Может быть, это спортивный интерес. Takes, pushes. Huh. 95, okay. Interesting. Great move, honestly. I could potentially... Yeah, I don't have that many options, right? I look at this move, bishop to f4, but then there is c4, queen a3, right? If knight takes, queen takes. And then bishop e5, they go. And then d6. Okay, let's just try. Let's just try. I will say my opponent is playing extremely solid. Extremely solid, extremely well. I have to take... Now what are they gonna do? Yeah, this is not 1,000 rating level. This is way stronger. Way stronger. Bishop e5, right? But there is rook e5, knight e5, queen g3. Da-da-da-dum. Queen walked away, yeah. They got scared. So there is a pawn hanging on b3. And I probably should not leave it. There's a bishop who wants to come to d4. Okay, b3 for now. I can always play bishop g3 on bishop d4. Yeah. 5. I gotta play faster because it's like no increment. And my opponent has done 0 mistakes so far. Like 0 mistakes. I don't want them to flag me. This is some impressive stuff. Knight f6 back is probably weird to me because knight was great. On g4, I didn't see the reason why going back exactly. This is better. Oh, but now there is bishop d4 attacking and attacking. Oh, okay. So now if d7 is attacked, I go here, rook to e7, and I protect. Yeah, the moment I started giving compliments, things went down the hill. Down the hill. So, after knight g4, I'm gonna go bishop g3, protect, and I'm attacking f7 again. Nope. Where is it? Oh. Come on. Baron von Blitzkrieg. What about... Okay, this is a serious attack on d7. If I go bishop, they take, rook takes, knight takes, and now I take on f7. That is my very tricky plan. Up. And now I take here. Careful. I mean, you can still... Yeah, this is still okay. King goes this way, knight e6. No, but then I just take this pawn. There's a checkmate, so knight f6 is an only move. I go bishop. Wow, tough. That is my toughest opponent so far. So tough. I do think that people at 1,000 rated level do not have the skill to play such a great logical and a solid game. Like, imagine I'm your coach. What mistakes have you done? Well, you haven't. The only like weird move to me is h5, but okay, apparently it's still fine. It exists. And then what? Like, I don't have any mistake to point out. And you know, when like I do game reviews every single week, I analyze my students' games every single week. His rabbit is 1550. Well, oh, and if you were playing games like that, you wouldn't need the school. Okay, knight h7 is a bit weird. It's a passive move, right? So maybe you go up. Maybe you go a little up. But I don't have any, I cannot teach you anything. Like, you played like very good level. Like, there is nothing I can teach here. Seriously. Yeah, well, that's probably like the time frame or like something. What was the move here? Yeah, knight f6 seemed weird. Like, why would you go back? You gotta do bishop d6, d4. I have to play bishop d3. I'm slightly better, but still. Yeah, this is a totally playable position. And then here, there's bishop d4 actually again. And now it's a double attack on d7. And after I defend, there is take. So I don't even know what I would have done here. Maybe this one I would actually be in trouble. But knight f6 is a... yeah, it's unnecessary. And then, okay, here... yeah, this is already lost. But it's all small things. It's not like a real mistake, right? So, I would evaluate this player of like 2,000. Minimum 2,000, yeah. Okay, next game. E4, C6. I think it's also a good thing for me to play Caro-Kann. I disagree with play for a draw. When you trade down everything, you don't play for a draw. At all. Like, no one plays for a draw. You just play good chess according to the position and you don't destroy yourself. I guess I can capture on it. Like, this is probably unnecessary because I take. And now I get back the pawn, but I also have the center. My idea was to trade c pawn for e pawn, and it worked. Queen f4. The weirdness with the queen e4 is that it just walks right into e5 in the future. Of course, now the bishop is attacking the knight. I am hesitating to check knight c6 and castle long. It's a little bit ambitious. And I love it. Because I am finishing the development of like at least one side of the board and I'm preparing e5. F5. I of course blundered, but we have d4 in the air. I don't want to play e6 because then queen f7, queen e6 check. I think I'd rather just walk away, but then there is a bishop f4, right? And if I go... oh, rook d7 is sweet. Because after queen takes, I can just develop... my opponent didn't do that. And now... there's e6 first. Protect f7. Prepare bishop c5. I didn't look at d4 because bishop takes, there is intermediate move, so I don't win the knight. Now that I'm thinking of queen g4 is another inaccuracy because it's right into knight f6 attacking g4. You'd think that bishop c5, you just take the pawn, but this is an intermediate move. And I still want to take the pawn. Maybe not right away, because Yeah, this would be a double attack to 2 pieces. So if I play d4 here, I attack the knight. Knight cannot move because I want to take the bishop, so they have to take on c6. I take back on c6, then the knight is still pinned. When the knight walks away, I'm taking this pawn, and I don't want to take it with the bishop again because of that issue, so I'd rather take it with the queen. c3, I'm not gonna trade. I'm gonna push d3 and then d2 and win a bishop. No, there is knight d4. Yeah, knight d4 is not gonna let me win the bishop. Oh, but now my d3 is attacked. That is quite uncomfortable. Although after d3 there is f4. Let me think. There are many ways where I can move my queen. I can just move it here to b6 and prepare c5 anyways. Yeah, how is the knight gonna get out of the pen? And there is no queen a6. I didn't see that, but now I realize queen b6 was very... Oh shit. You lucky little thing. So unnecessary. My opponents start to play really well. This is quite confusing. I guess just king b2, b7, sorry. I develop later. Knight c5, I wanted to kick them out. Yeah, go home. Develop my bishop. Finish the development, yes. Okay, we can bring the knight, attack the bishop. Bishop e3, knight d5. We attack the bishop. I don't want anything weird happening to me on this pin. b4 is still a move. Queen e4. Oh no! I blundered the pawn on a6. Oh, sharks. How did I do that? Oh, why don't you want to take my pawn? Wait, what's wrong with you? Why don't you want to take my pawn? Let's walk away from the pin because there were many things in the air. Yeah. Let's go queen c6. Excuse me. Knight e5, bishop e5. This is just a blunder. c4. We can take the queen. If needed, we take back, but I don't think my opponent's going to take on it. Yeah, and now we can... I'm not going to take this pawn because I don't want to open the file for the rook. It's called a poison pawn. I'm not taking it. Instead, I'm just dominating here. And I walk away from any issues. g7 is protected. Now, I can play a5 and stop b4 still. b3, okay. I go e5. I could play e5 instead of king c8 as well. Yeah, I forgot that the rook was protecting g7. This is fine. Queen to g5, attacking f5, that's all right. We are gonna defend it. Rook f1, okay. h6 maybe, asking the queen what is she doing here. Preparing to push the pawns. King h1 was such a pro move. Queen h4, I'm pushing g5, protecting h6. Queen h5, I can push e4. Just continue pushing. Yep. Dun, 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 dun. e3. We're good. Yeah, people are getting better. It's hard to judge. I still think that it's weird that my opponents are playing better than my students. But I try not to judge. e2 attacking. Queen e4, bishop c3 or bishop f2 in the air. Pawn takes. I attack the rook. H7 is a good move. I'm gonna go rook H8. Or rook E2. Check. Bum, ba-dum, 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 ba-dum. We can even try to win more. G3. Then queen D3, attacking G3. Ooh. F4. Attacking again. Queen check, I walk away. Yeah, I'm asking myself 7 questions, but A3, okay. Oh, careful, my time. Uh-oh. 18 seconds only. Rook takes, rook check. Take. Yeah, checkmate it coming. My opponent is like thinking, uh-oh. Okay. Game review. That one is so weird. Let's go. E4, C6, Caracan. So I don't like E5, and I don't like Knight f3. I think it's better to control the center with both pawns, right? When your opponent, you can play E5 even here. When your opponent doesn't take control of the center, you do. Maybe D3 here. The problem with E5 is that you're giving away this square, so now I play C5. And I want this, right? D4. I play knight c6. I could play bishop g4. These are good moves. And after capturing, I am going here. I think the best move would be probably like bishop e2 or knight d2. The problem with h3 is that I want to take anyways, right? And now you're just asking me to take, so you're kind of losing your time. Apparently this is not great. Wow, I didn't know that. Because, oh, why? Okay, computer says I should play e6. Okay, well, I wanted to go here because I am having 2 pawns in the center. So apparently, according to the engine, right away counterattacking the engine and using this pin would be the idea, which is totally logical, right? My opponent moves away the queen, but now there is e5 in the air. And after bishop b5, I can just play e6 simply. Simple chess, but I'm trying to go fancy. And now this is dubious. Yeah, this is not necessarily as good for me as I'm losing f7. And there are things that are slightly falling down here. Okay. And if queen takes, if I go queen c5, still not great. Damn it. Okay, so notes for myself. Don't try to go fancy queen a5. Just continue simple development e6. Okay, so we both make a few mistakes here. And then my opponent does play queen f7 would be possible. Queen f5, check, taking the pawn would be possible, right? But check. This is not great because now, not because of, oh, e6, engine says, and if they take knight d4, protecting and attacking everything. Interesting. Very interesting. So instead, I go rook d7, my opponent castles, I go e6, queen moves right onto the knight, and here slowly I should be gaining the advantage, but then this is once again inaccuracy because of b4. Oh my goodness, who's gonna find b4? So my opponent goes down, I take the pawn, black is better again, and again, wow, d2 or e5? E5, of course, attacking the knight. That's making total sense. I don't know why I didn't do it. I played this move, but then the queen can take, and now, of course, e5. You're winning the queen by e5, not by c5, because then c5 queen can go here, and white is better now. Wow. Wow. White is better all the way until... This is a slip, right? Mouse slip. maybe my opponent wanted to take. Yeah, I think it's a mouse slip. So I actually got outplayed by, I got completely outplayed by a 1,000 rating player. Very, very impressive. Honestly, great job. Yeah, I did mistakes, but still, I think it's a great understanding of the game overall shown in this game by White. So, okay, let's try to be more tight next game and don't do mistakes on my end. Okay, I'm playing against a Turkish player. I go c4, d5, takes. Not a fan of d5 because I develop my knight and attack the queen, and then I get the center control. The form was Scandinavian, which honestly looks weird. Bishop g7, I go knight f3, knight f6, I go bishop c4. I want to keep the control of this diagonal. My opponent castles, I castle 2, knight c6. We can finish the development and bring the other bishop. Where's this pawn gonna go? Oh, careful, Dina. What is happening after bishop g4? Good question. a6, I don't know what for. b5 is not a problem. I go e5 and I ask the knight, where do you want to go? Probably I should have done it before, right? So that I wouldn't be stuck there. And now oh no, I cannot play g5 because there's a bishop. But what I can do, nothing is attacked here, right? I can play h3 and stop bishop g4. That would be my knight that is protecting the d4 pawn. So by playing h3, I am protecting my d3 pawn. Bishop f5, I can play a4 and stop b5, even though I'm not like worried about it. But my next idea would be, yeah, this is something I was looking at already. But what is happening with this knight? Knight c2 is not our problem. This is like a fork. You hear it less than the game. Bishop to e6. Well, I just take the bishop. And now I take the knight. Yeah, now I take the knight. Rook f3 is not a problem because I take back with the queen. Pawn takes, queen takes pawn. Yeah, my opponent probably didn't see that the knight was defended. Knight c2, nice attempt, but I defend. You can take with a knight, but then your knight is pinned, right? Queen. To f5. I kind of want to go rook d3 and transfer the rook to g3 to the attack. Yeah, that would be great. Yep. Nice lift. Thank you. Nice rook lift. I agree. The rook is great here on g3. I agree. Rook f8, preparing what exactly? I can take... Oh, careful, my queen. Wow, I almost forgot about it. Okay, I can go with queen h2. Protect... Sorry, it's queen h4. Protect d4 and prepare moving my bishop away. And attacking the king. Let's go. Knight takes. Well, I just take on d4. And if bishop e5, it's not a problem. This is a funny way of attacking my bishop. Because I'm just taking the pawn and it's bent. There was a move, but Didn't happen. That's like a checkmate into queen h4 check. King goes to the corner and I checkmate. GG's. Let's take a look at this game. Yeah, games now are getting serious, so we might as well take a look at them. So as I said, not a fan of bringing the queen out early. Not a fan at all. And then g6. Yeah. So black is like forever worse, but I think here I made a slip. This bishop g4 is bishop g5 is not great because of this bishop g4. And now I have to play d5, but then my opponent goes knight e5. I go bishop e2, protecting. And then he kind of manages to trade things, which might lead to a simplification and kind of reducing my huge advantage in the opening. Instead, I should just play h3, protect the g4, and then just smash with these pawns. Yeah, usually when you have an advantage in the space, which is the fact here, like you have more pieces like forward or pawns, usually pawns actually, you have more space and you don't want to trade because the side that has less spades wants to trade because they need more air. So bishop g5, a6, we push. Yeah, and as I said, a6 is an accuracy. Now I can already do my thing, which is like connect to a3, kick the knight out, the knight on the rim is dim. I actually am preparing g4, and then my opponent walks right into g4. I forget what I wanted. I play a4 in accuracy, and now I still play g4, and yeah, after that, it's over. Rook f3 unnecessary, but it's still over. Okay. Good. All right, let's continue. I'm gonna go to the new game, 5-0. I'm playing against Umar of B. E4. Let's play e5. Knight f3, knight c6. Developing. Okay, bishop e5, good move. Let's go knight f6. Thank you, John, for the prime. We go bishop. Not bit. Okay, bishop. Let's go bishop c5. Let's see what my opponent has. c3, good move. And castle. Actually, maybe d4 would already strike very strongly. I'm gonna go d5. Bishop. That's fine. Good. That's very strong. We can take on e4. Bishop c6. Uh-huh. If I take the pawn, the knight can jump. No, actually I take the bishop back. 94, 5, 95. Okay. So many jumps out of nowhere. So, which pawn do I want to take? Or do I not want to take a pawn? If I push with my queen, then the pawn comes to d4. So I might just take on d3. We have an even number of pawns. Oh, by the way, oh, this is unnecessary. This is definitely unnecessary. Because then I can just take with the queen. And even though my structure is slightly worse... Oh, shit, I blundered. Yeah, blundered. I was gonna pin the rook. I was going after the rook. Okay, let's see what how my opponent... Oh, my opponent did not take the bishop. This is a miss because instead my opponent blundered the knight himself. Look, you take the bishop, I take the rook, you take back, and then you got 2 pieces for the rook. It's stronger. But now after queen takes and I take the knight, and I just up a piece. Yeah, and after knight a3, I'll just take because I want to trade when I'm up material, and my bishop is going to be a very strong outpost. Dina, you're not playing 100s anymore. That's true. Thank you, Otis, for the prime. Let's take a look at this game. Opening was a mess. I will tell you that. From both sides. So far, this is good. Bishop c5 is okay. And d4. How do we react to d4? Oh, actually, it wasn't as bad as I thought. Just go back, bishop. And if they capture, you capture here. Okay, that's playable. And if queen d5, knight c5. Oh, nice. Good to know. My opponent played a little bit more passive d3, which is okay. After d5, bishop g5. Oh, I didn't do any mistakes. Wow, I thought I did. But actually, I played fine. And then this is, yeah, this is not needed. And here, instead of bishop a6, same idea, but first start with the rook. And then after, let's say my opponent walks away out of the pin, we go do another pin. Yeah, I was close. I was close to what I wanted. Because look at this. This is the best. Yeah. But I made this blunder, and now my opponent blundered back even worse. Just take. Don't be afraid of giving away your rook, because 2 pieces that you get instead are so much stronger than the rook. Okay. GG's. Next game. Yeah, at some point I might switch to rabbit. Maybe after 1100. d4, d5. Knight c3. Not a fan putting the knight in front of the c pawn. Not a fan. Okay. Let's see how my opponent reacts. e3. Okay, well now I'm gonna strike in the center. Pawn takes, and I'm okay with that. I'm developing my knight, and I'm pushing e5. And I want to take back the pawn on c5, but I also want to have a strong center. There is an option to play bishop b4, but then I play bishop g4. I don't want anything to happen. Giving away the bishop is so unnecessary because you cannot win this pawn, and instead you're just giving away the bishop for the knight, but you're also bringing my pawn to protect the center. So I have an option of bishop h5, but then g4, and if I walk away, they take. At the same time, I could sacrifice. Like bishop h5, g4, knight takes, pawn takes, bishop takes. It's an interesting stack because the pin is very hard and there is e4. I kind of like it. I think it should work. There is, of course, an option to play knight e5, but then I take, and then after queen takes, like my opponent doesn't have any security on the king side. e4, isn't that a blunder? Oh, I see. Their idea is takes, and then knight e5. Well, what if I just attack here? Oh, but then g4 might be... No, but after knight a4, I protect e5. So I don't have to sacrifice bishop g5. I castle. The pin is not dangerous. c3. c5. I don't want to give away the center. Pawn takes. What pawn should I take? If I take, there is always e5 in the air. If I take with the pawn e, so I'm going to take with the pawn c. I love how this knight is like completely stuck on the side of the board, which is obviously not great for him. Okay, queen to b3. I can take, right? Bishop takes, queen takes. And h6, yeah, I kicked it. I mean, the bishop should have gone to h4. Now this is attacked. Okay, he wants to reroute, which is okay, but who is gonna take care of all these pieces here? Like, they're so in clutch. Yeah, and then the other rook comes in, and look at my beautiful files. Look at these files. This is so good, so strong. Queen, okay. So there is always b3 as soon as I attack the knight. Which is probably fine. Kind of first time thinking, honestly, in this position. Let me think. How can I multiply my advantage? My bishop is passive, right? So I can try to improve it by playing bishop to b4. This, of course, I take on g5, knight g4, queen takes g4. And now What if I attack the g4 with my queen? If you push the pawn to defend, then your dark squares are in a serious trouble. So yeah, I'm actually attacking the pawn, and I have already an idea. Queen f3 is an option, but I'm just going to a so much better, almost winning, honestly. Endgame, rook c2 is a cool option, but rook c1. And look at this. If I play bishop d2 first, the whole file is forever for me. Like, no one can kick me out. I have this beautiful kind of sort of outpost on f4. My rook comes in. There is, of course, the Luft. Rook d3, but rook a3, what to do on a3? That's the question. Bishop really relocation, yes. Rook c2, you can play totally b4. Fine. Oh, but careful, knight, sneaky knight wants to come here. Maybe I should have played a4, a5. Sneaky knight. Ah, that's what he wants. Let's see. How can we counter-strike? What if... Oh, I almost blundered my rook. Uh-huh. What if we just bring our king because it's an endgame? Knight c5, we go king e7. And I always say this, you cannot play a endgame without the king. And then knight d3 is okay. Should I or should I not? Yeah, no, I should. Bishop d2. Because they want to take and then take. Oh, there's also... Okay, bishop e3 is not... f4, nice attempt. What if pawn takes? Is a check, but I go up. I think that's a gift from God. King f3, I protect g5. Yeah, that's a free pawn. Rook b1. 1. I could set up a very uncomfortable idea of bringing my king in. Or be too strong, actually. I have to take. Knight takes. Bishop c3. I have to defend my bishop. I gotta start playing faster, and I am going to attack the knight. Although now this is protected, but I can go in. Like, my king is unstoppable. I'm telling you that right now. Like, no one can stop this beast. Yeah. This one is also going to become a beast, but careful. Careful. Knight c5. What is? Just take. Rook a1 is not possible. Note that. So we got a very important pawn, and we're gonna get another important pawn. With my king, probably. Knight d7. An idea to... I don't exactly know what. Let's just take. Rook is attacked. Careful not to drop anything here. King takes, not a pawn, of course. Knight mouse. King takes. Yep. And then we're gonna push. Rook comes in. Go that way, and we push. And if rook takes, then our pawn is gonna be faster. Check, we go here. We push. Pawn takes, we push. Tough. Very tough. I don't know how these players are so strong. So strong. Very complicated. Very good players. Kudos to them. Check. Take the rook. Check. Here. Okay, let's take a look at this game. Interesting. Very good game. Not a fan of knight c3, and the problem with, because it's blocking the pawn, but also e3 is passive because it's blocking the bishop. Now maybe e5 would be better. No, yeah, e5 would be better. What do you mean, Dubious? What do you mean? e5, bishop g4, unnecessary take. As I said, unnecessary. Like really, like just improving my pawn, making me improve my pawn structure, which is so not needed. And here I just had e4. Wow, I just had e4 that I didn't spot. I was too carried away by the pawn. e4 now is good. I could probably just castle, right? I don't have to react. And if, oh, let me see. I wanted to sacrifice. Yes, computer agrees. That would be good. That would be strong. And even if e4, wow, f5, insane. Attacking again. That's just crazy. Crazy good. So we go this way. We go that way. Push. I mean, that's like so resilient from this side of my opponent. Here, bishop e2 would be a good option. And if it goes this way, we could go... Oh, it's not for d3. It's for bishop a6. So just simply bringing the bishop to the other side and saying that the bishop is so much better here. Okay. Wow. Bishop comes in, we trade. And we trade. And it should be easy winning, right? But no. Rook c2. Wow. Okay. This would be better. So we go that way. Here again, I should have put the rook. So the rook goes this way. Ah, terrible blunder because rook b3. Yeah, that's what I missed. Rook b3 and then rook c4 and knight is just out. Sag played too fast. Now b4 is great. And now I had to like start to win all over again. Like out of nowhere. e5 unnecessary, right? f4 a little bit unnecessary, right? Just rook a, it's tough, but you can hold it. And the same idea that you had before, right? Yeah, same idea because you did it. You just did it later. Okay. Lots of things, ups and downs. Good game, very good game. Okay, let's go for the next one. 10:59. You saw rook c8. Okay. e4, e5, knight f3. Knight c6, bishop c4. Bishop c5, castle. Knight goes out, c3. Knight takes. Rook e1, attacking the knight. Oh my gosh, I blundered. Bishop f2. Wow. Dina, wake up. What are your subscribers gonna say? They're not gonna wanna watch this after this series. So I play d4, pawn takes d4. I am really threatening the knight. It literally happened to you today. Yeah, so interesting. So if the pawn wants to take my bishop, wait, but now I'm just up a piece. Because if they take, I defend. Oh no, not the castle. Not the castle. Yep. Knight takes, but now there is no bishop, so... Yeah, a little bit late into the party. To the party. A little bit late to the party. Knight b4 is a nice attempt. Wow, good job. Good job. Rook e2. I'm gonna have to defend c2 and the fork on c2 and the fork on d3 at the same time. Knight d3 is still a good move. Checking me, bishop g4 is okay. Oh, careful, careful, careful. Bishop f4, knight d3, king g3. Saved. Knight d3, king g3. The attack I protect. It's an endgame, so I'm not afraid to bring my king up because it's an endgame. Thank you, Da, for subscribing for the Prime. Knight takes h5. Doubling the rooks because I want to go up the hill, down the rooks. Honestly, I'm just playing too fast, but the reason I'm playing too fast is that I want to play more games in the short amount of time, kind of keep the ball rolling. But yeah, I keep making inaccuracies. Maybe I should slow down. Bishop e6, knight g5, attacking the bishop and the pawn on f7, and the checkmate. There is no checkmate yet, but soon, my friends, there is gonna be a checkmate. Oh, well, thanks for the pawn. Yes, you might think that you're getting the other pawn, but I feel like your king is gonna be in a serious trouble here. I should just transfer the knight somewhere to g5. If I transfer the knight to g5, I would checkmate. Rook takes. I am gonna play g3 because I want to bring my king up. I am going with this pawn as well. Kind of unnecessary, but again, my goal is to checkmate your king. So I'm doing that no matter what. Check. Check. Take this one. They can take on h2. It's fine. How fast can I get to g5? I need to... Or... Okay, I should... Knight d6. I think a strong move would be h4, but then I play g5. h3, king moves. Rook attacks, but then the knight protects. And I want to come to g5. Remember that. g5, and that's a checkmate. King g6. Okay, that's a protection for my checkmate. But I go this way. Okay, that's gonna be a checkmate. Check and mate. GG's. Oh, nice. Game review. Let's take a look. Start review. e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6. This was fine until a terrible blunder by Dina. And the bishop takes, of course, is a win. Yes, just win on spot. Instead, I should have played d4 first. And then the line is d5. So my opponent probably knew that. And that's why they played d5 right away, because they confused on the other line. Now I play d4. Black is still better. But the right move is to go bishop b6. To walk away from the attack. And king castle. Oh, capture is okay. Just move the bishop like bishop b4, for example, attacking the rook, right? But this is just a mistake. It's a blunder. So basically black did two blunders. And that's my thought. Like, you know, the problem, the issue when you're trying to memorize openings at such a level, like around like 1,000, right? Like anything up to 1,500. Like, but this is a typical example. You're trying to memorize the opening and you forget to think with your own head, to use your brain. Because your opponents might not necessarily play the move that you learn by heart, like happened here. And you need to be able to spot that position to realize that that's not exactly what you studied. And therefore, you need to think on your own. And here, by thinking on their own, black would easily find bishop f2 and then not blunder the bishop by castling, right? Or just walk away with the bishop. But because black was trying to recreate the moves that they learned by heart, they were not clearly like looking at the board as if this was something new and something fresh. So to some extent, when you don't know the theory and you're just using your brain and you are playing logical moves on your own, you should be able to figure this all out and at the same time spot your opponent's blunders when they happen and not make blunders yourself. That's my theory. Okay, good. Let's continue. No, that's not what I wanted. I wanted to play. Start 5 minutes. Okay, intense smoke. What? What? H3? Not on my watch, buddy. Nope. G3? No, 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 no. This ain't gonna work. Nope. C5? No, 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 no. We are gonna punish that. F4, A3? What's wrong with them? Okay, let's think. D4. So, do we take? I think we just take. Because if we don't take, then they have this. Yeah, we gotta take on Bazan. Queen develops. We develop the knight. Can attack the queen later. We'll develop the bishop. We'll castle. We have the very strong center. Can jump with the knight. What am I watching? Okay. Trying to think how I can punish my opponent for all these mistakes. 95, but 95. Queen goes away. Let's go to 85. Hopefully. Queen is so early out. Queen goes back, okay. They want to play bishop b2, right? Want to play bishop b2. If I go queen d5, queen a5, bishop d2. Or I can go bishop e6. I just need to be careful with this one. Okay, bishop e6. Now bishop d6. I need to be careful. Or I can check. Check is good. And then if the knight comes on c3, there's b4, but I go queen c7. It's knight d2. My knight is still attacked. But I can play bishop d6, and if knight f5, there is no attack on this d column. Yeah. Short castle or long castle? Do you want to play c4? Probably just short castle. Avoid any headache. b4 I take. I think I can capture. Attack, queen goes back. If attack, queen goes back, I take. What am I missing? No, this is okay. This is all good. I got a pawn. Knight d4. Fine. Bishop d7, protect f5. Protect. Are they trying to play a white version of a hippo? Good question. Knight in the center. Knight takes. We take with this one because we want to open the rook. We take with the f pawn. We want to open the rook. And then we have knight f3. We want to also open the bishop. Look at that. With one pawn move, we open 2 pieces. Isn't that beautiful? Even 3 pieces in a way, because knight can also jump on f3 now with the support of the rook. Da, da, da. Speaking of knight jump, we want to prepare knight f3. Yeah. We can also... So many tempting moves. a5. Let's just, when we have a pass pawn, let's just promote it. Or it goes in. Yeah. Knight takes. Let's go b6. I still don't want to remove my rook from here. But also, at the same time, I want to push my pawns. This rook is doing well. Queen is protecting the pawn. I don't see a move for white. Like, I don't. Don't I create a pawn island? I do. But I also have, like, my strengths in this particular situation are better than my weaknesses. Good point. I create a pawn island, I create a backwards pawn, but the fact that I get 2 of my rooks, 2 of my pieces, a rook and a bishop open, and attacking on, by the way, I could take on f2. That's so much more powerful. Rook d1. I think it's time to take. Queen takes, rook takes. And then take on e3. Yep. Good one, huh? I like it. I like it. Oh! Bishop takes d... What? Bishop takes... Here? What? This is just a bishop. You sneaky little thing. You think you can get away with that? Not on my watch, buddy. Not on my watch, buddy. I swear, when I play with my students, this doesn't happen. No. 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 What did he do? Yeah, he tricked me. He tricked me. Knight b3, I take... Or I check. I can just take... I can also bring the rook. What is... I mean... It's all good, honestly. Bishop, bishop, queen, check. Oh. What an interesting move. You take, I check, you check, and I go up. What an interesting move. My opponent is taking their time and finding best moves of resilience. Look at that. Whew. That was tough. Okay, let's analyze. What the hell is that? Like, very weird defense. I can't. Took me so long. So I shouldn't rush into the pushing. I should just develop the knight. And then I have 5. Knight of 6. E4. Okay, that's what the engine says. Okay, so when I push too much. Wow, I should push this one F. Because when I push this one, then they go D3, and then now if I push F5. Oh, there's C4. Wow. Yeah, it's just too much. Crazy. There's think I think could have worked. 93. A3, no way. Like D3 white is. Oh, I don't want to say it. White is better. I have to say it. My goodness. Like, look at this. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. People can get away with this bullshit. White is tilt better if they play rook b1. And after here, they take, and then it turns out that this pawn falls. That's so sad. What is... This is the first time in the game that I'm better. So I think the conclusion is that while you want to continue taking control of the center, you don't want to overextend, right? So the strongest would be just develop your knight. And then f5 is good, but you don't put like 4 pawns, right? You only put 3 pawns, and you kind of like knight of 6, and then d4, you just play e4, and you chill. And if c4, you can capture. Good. Let's say they play a3, like they have no ambition whatsoever. Then you can play e4, they play d4. Oh, you don't even take, you play bishop d3. So yeah, I wanted too much, which actually often happens when you're being like provoked, which I was provoked. And I wanted to punish my opponent right away. But honestly, here, if I just, like, this was the wrong decision, because it turns out even my opponent developed the queen, and even they're developing so weird and so much wasting moves, they still have like 3 pieces out, and I only have 1. So my opponent is ahead in development and castles first. So that's why I should not open, and instead I should keep it closed and keep my opponent suffering from space. And that's a big lesson for me here. I will tell you that right now. And I hope it's a lesson for you too. That leaves us with 1075. So a few more games before we hit the next milestone. Are we ready? Let's go with d4. e6. What about e4? h6? No, please. Stop it. Why do I have to deal with that again? Are we pushing the pawn or are we developing the knight? Let's develop the knight. Let's see what we learned from the previous game. Let's see what we learned from the previous game. The I wonder what's happening after. Maybe c4 would have been better. Now that I think about it. I mean, d5. Pawn pushes, c5. Bishop e3. Or knight c3. a6, no way. Ay, 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 ay. What is wrong with you, buddy? f4, okay. Knight f3. c5. e5. They can still do d5. Knight e7. I go knight. f3 d6. What is going on? Is that a joke? Like, this seems like the repetition of what just happened with the opposite color. Приложение для обучения базовой игры «Моя школа». School.com/Russian chess school. Knight d7. I go castle. Yeah. About that one. Knight b6. d5, f5, e5. Let's go e5. And then f5 later. d5. And f5 is like so much wanted. But maybe first. How are they gonna develop? g6 or c5? Probably b4. Bishop e3 to stop c5. Knight c4. Part of me wants to capture. I have to. And now. Knight e4. Getting in. I'm annoyed. Queen a2. Protecting. Bishop d7, yeah. I'm definitely losing some of my advantage for like no reason. Rook. Okay. What if I don't trade the bishop? Bishop c6. And go c3. Bishop b7. Kind of want to push f5. So weird. Where's my knight going? Queen f here. Yeah, queen f2. Queen g3. f5. Bishop h6. Yeah. Castles f5. Pawn takes bishop h6. That's what I want. How stressful is chess from 1 to 10? I think it's 10. I learned with coach Anna to save the bishop at any cost. It depends on the position, though. Still. Depends on the position. g6. Okay, we can play knight c5 because we are attacking the bishop, and if they capture, he goes back. Can play queen h3 because we wanna, like, we don't want to let them castle, right? Play h5. I might be paranoid, honestly, but I have a great experience playing with thousands. And somehow my opponents are so much better when they are playing against, like in a speed run against me. Queen e7. Huh. Look at this right away. Queen e7. And this is just winning a pawn. Like, did you see that? That's insane. Chat. That's insane. I have no words. It's just, it's too strong. Well, now thinking why not taking the pawn right away? I thought that was the idea. Hello, and yes, the queen is going to protect the bishop. Oh, come on, what are you doing? No, the moment I see they're too strong, they get scared. The irony. You could have just taken a4, but what if I capture? Bishop a6 and go back. Okay, I have no words. It's just impressive. I wish all my students were like that. I wish all my students were so good. I don't know why, but somehow maybe they're just my students are like too intimidated. James asks, thank you so much for the prime. Is it time to sack? I'm worried though. Maybe it's not. Bishop. Wanna go here? No, I cannot. But I want to come and take this one. This one out. Bishop takes. Ay, ay. Oh gosh. Oh my goodness. I need to hurry. Oh. Uh-oh. I'm getting cooked. I'm getting cooked. I'm getting cooked. Like, how can it be so hard to beat an opponent that has no opening? Like, no opening. And is a 1600 points lower than me. Computer doesn't like f4. So knight f3 instead. Okay. Oh, he is playing the cow. Sharks. I didn't actually recognize it. And I know what to play against the cow. You gotta push. I did play fine, actually. Oh, I shouldn't take, I should go back. So then what should I do here? Queen e1. And if c5. Okay, and if knight f5. Just g4. Bingo. Bravo. Yeah. This was a mistake. And black is better now? Unbelievable. Okay, so we had a 4. Beautiful. Beautiful. Take. So I go this way. They develop. This is great. Yeah, and here, like, black should just take. Pushes, c6. This is a blunder. Yeah. I had a thought. What if I sack? No, engine doesn't like it. Okay, thank God I didn't sack. Yeah. With great space comes great responsibility. So true. So true. 1082. Let's play a new game. If black allows you to play c4 after d4, don't block with c pawn with the knight. It's a good suggestion. The thing is, like, I already have an e pawn, and usually we say, like, 2 pawns should be enough in the opening, right? So that's what I was aiming for, to have 2 pawns in the center. So knight f3, I develop, pushes, I take. Take 6, take. d5, rook e1. And now the issue is that this bishop is still in the center. I don't think there is like a direct way to do anything about it though. My knight is attacked. Probably nothing. So I'm just gonna play knight e5. Knight takes, knight takes. No? You didn't take. Okay. So maybe I take the knight. Bishop takes. Now I play d6. I open my bishop. Bishop g5, good move with the idea knight e4. So I have to attack the bishop. 94 is still possible, but if I develop my bishop to f5, then it's no longer possible. I think I should have an advantage because like this bishop is a little bit stuck. And my pieces are slightly better, even though my opponent has this space. So it's tricky. My opponent has the space. Knight coming to d4 would be a good thing. So what if should I trade bishops and a rook? Oh yeah, I like that because it's a double attack then. I'm attacking the bishop now. Knight d4 is probably the best. Knight d4. Knight g3. Attacking my bishop. What if I go back? Because now the knight is... Oh no, there is knight h5 I missed. Ha, I missed that. Well, I will have to... Okay, I didn't do it. I would have to play g5. Which is okay. Queen b3, where is the queen going? My bishop is better here. Undermining the f-pawn. Oh, you want to take that? Seriously? That's what you care about? So rook b8. Queen takes, and now rook b2. Yes, I'm down a pawn, but this one is more important, and it is going down. And c4 is kind of blocked. My bishop is blocking it. Okay. Okay, what about... Oh, wow, there was already like this. What about here? Let me take. Queen, I protect. Queen d7, I move away the rook. Checkmate. I think this works. Yeah. Because if takes, then check first and then takes. Rook f2. Double exclaim. Checkmate? Oh no, there is no checkmate because there's bishop d1. But then I take, check. And then I push. I wonder if he's gonna blunder the g7. Queen g7, he thought, checkmate! No, bro. There is my queen. See, that's like more logical. This is the level that I expect. Which is fine. Okay, game review. Yep, all theory. No, not knight a5. Knight a5 or bishop c3 and knight a5. What about castle? Bishop c3 and then b6. Oh, that's how we go. Okay. Got it. So I go this way. I take. And I should have... Okay, I should have given away my bishop. See, this position is kind of close because there is only open file. And by doubling the rooks and giving away the bishop for the knight, I would actually have an advantage. So, it depends on the position. This is a mistake from me. Because after takes... Oh my boy. Oh my lands. Oh no. Double attack. Oh silly me. My opponent didn't find it. And then, yeah, once again, I could have taken. Said I develop. Bishop e4 is not great. Takes, and then f4. Okay, fine. Well, it still looks fine to me. Takes. This is all good. This is an poison pawn, yeah. And after this, it's over. It's over. Yeah, this is over. Okay. All right. We go in. 1090. One more game before we reach 1,000. Let's start with the... Okay. I want to play e5. I don't care. I want to take more space, and I'm not letting them in or out. I'm not. Bishop e3, they take, queen takes, knight takes, or c3. Or bishop b5. Oh, I like bishop b5. Because if they take, I take. Right? Yeah, that's good. Pawn pushes. Pawn pushes. What if I just take? What if I just push? What is this? What is f6? Ah, pawn moves. What is this? So yeah, like annoying, honestly. Take, they push. Could go here. Hmm. What if... Something is so odd here. Okay, what if I just go this way? You want to take that pawn? Fine. Go take it. My castle. I castle. How are you gonna develop? Exactly. You're not. Giving away the bishop, definitely not the best thing to do. If I take, bishop takes, I push. Or I push right away. Dilemma. Or I push right away. Let's push right away. If knight g4, then okay, knight c4. Queen d3. I want to win the pawn back. I want to win my pawn back. Or knight d2, even better. Knight a5. d6, takes, king moves. Not clear. When I enter. A very complicated position. But c6 is a blunder, for sure. Because then there is this. Queen b6, I just attack and develop. Capture move, promote. Oh, I just get the queen. That's funny. That's why my opponent is thinking. Thanks for the queen. Okay. You seriously continuing? Really? Wow. Wow, wow, wow. e5. I pin the knight. We move. King moves, and now we can just take the pawn. And we are promoting. Yeah, I guess soon it's time to switch to rapid games. I don't know what's the point of playing though here. It's unclear to me. I think players who like are good, they should respect each other's time. That's what I think. GG's. Okay, let's take a look at this one. And by the way, no, still not 1100. 1089. No, not e5. Okay, if not e5, then knight f3. Well, e5 looks so juicy. Yeah, not e5. e5 not great. Okay, so knight f3. d6. Yeah, so just transforming to a King's Indian. Got it. And this is not great. But you have to play c5. If you don't play c5, What are you trying to do? Yeah, this is c4, c3, sorry. This is the cleanest way. Now when I go bishop b5, it's also fine. And then here I should just play h3. I kind of looked at it. And I don't know what I thought. Yeah, h3 makes sense. They're so clean. d5. Ah, here I'll let it slide. This is unnecessary. Knight c4, great move. And then here, c6 is a blunder. Just go knight a5, yeah. After c6, this is over. Okay. All right, my friends, one more game. Let's go. One more game, we get to the next milestone. So, c6, d5, takes, d4, knight c6, knight c3, putting the knight in front of the pawn. Okay. Protecting, bishop b5, e6, bishop f4, all fine, knight f6, bishop d6, we're developing on each side of the board. Bishop g3 is okay. Wait, but that is a blunder. Thank you for the pawn. I got the pawn. Life is beautiful. And I'm attacking another pawn. So only move is queen d3. That is a blunder. I take. Knight takes, I take here. Queen takes, I go queen b6, attacking the knight and the pawn on b2. Careful, queen knight c7 is gonna lose the knight because the knight is gonna be trapped. I just warned you. I just warned you. Okay, like this is a solid 1100. But not some of the games I had before. I think it's also the percentage, the ability of being able to play solid without blundering. That was catching me off guard. Because it's just like, unfortunately, like the consistency shouldn't be there at this level yet. Yep. King moves, check. Takes, check. I go back, and then the checkmate. Bam, 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 bam. Oh my god. So scared. GG's. Because you see when the players are playing till the checkmate, it means that they are not like at the level of their consistency, because then they would just resign. Yes, in this position, I would say don't put the knight on c3 because you want to keep the pawn here in front of the knight, right? It's just a bit too much because you wanna move the pawn up. And then everything was good until the blunder h3. But like we just wish in some alternative world, we just wish that the pawn would go to c3 and protect, right? That's what we want to see. Pawn goes to c3 and protects. I did notice that it's easier for me to play open positions against lower rated players than closed. I don't know if that's the winner was actually faster in open position, which is kind of surprising to me because the advantage seemed bigger in a closed position. And like the open positions were completely even, but then my opponents would blunder easily, and the closed positions they would not. That's an interesting observation. 1100, yes, that's right. We're already pretty far, and let's capitalize on this benchmark. So I'm gonna click on start the game. And as usual, this series are dedicated to my late friend Daniel Naroditsky. If you want to support his legacy, scan the QR code over here. This is gonna be a memorial happening already this summer and a fellowship as well. All information above. Thank you. I started with e4. My opponent does not take the center, so I'm gonna try to punish them for that. I push to c5. I'm closing everything. Let's see how they're gonna get out of this heel. There is a5 possible. Oh, didn't happen. Because it didn't happen, let's see, because a5 would open the rook file. That would be good. That would be good. I am wondering if I should prepare for a5. Probably just remove the rook, right? So that on a5 I have the a3. That's the best idea. Then I want to develop the bishop. I don't want to develop the knight, but I might consider first f6. Interesting move. What if I already have like queen or f4? F4, pawn takes, pawn takes. I kind of like f4. But then, oh, careful, pawn takes. I have to take back with this pawn, because then, so that c5 doesn't hurt. And then they might annoy me with the bishop, though, there. If I start with queen h5, g6, sacrifice, sacrifice, king goes away. I don't have any immediate, like, idea. I don't want to take, so I have to, I think I have to play f4. Pawn takes, I'm going to take with this pawn. Bishop h4, I have g3. I have g3. It's a good move, though. It's a good move. Bishop g5, yes. And now maybe I have something like queen h4. How are they gonna react to that? G6, bishop takes? No, like it's a double attack, right? Yeah, on the bishop and on the h7. It is double attack. Where is he gonna go? Yeah, my king doesn't look like the safest, but oh, sharks. My king doesn't look like the safest. G6, but now I just win the bishop. So I'm up a bishop. I think maybe bishop takes g6 would have been even better. Yeah, actually, the other move would have been better, but I am still up a piece, so I don't have any complaints. Like, at this point, it's just a question where the win is going to be faster. I think we're going to analyze this game after, because it's interesting. Bishop a6. Now there is a cute... Oh, no, then the knight takes. It doesn't work. Okay, so we trade. Remember, we always want to trade when we are up material, right? And I think we can use the momentum and get to the 7th rank. This is the dream for the rook. A dream for the rook. What's the time control? The time control is 5-0. Let's see what my opponent's gonna do. I want to develop the knight. Yeah, essentially the idea was to capitalize on this huge advantage in the space, in the opening. This is not a fork. Knight takes, pawn takes, and then knight takes. Oh, the fork was indeed. And then I'm gonna remove the rook. Oh, careful, he wants 93. Sorry about that. Oh, I see why he wants. Oh, to get my rook. That is sneaky. There is knight f2. I don't like that. I think I'm losing an exchange there. Knight c1. Wait a second. But that's not the same. Now that... Wait, oh no. Oh shit, I could... Lol. I could literally have taken that. Oh, silly me. Silly me. I could have taken that thing. Okay, well. If I move my king, then the knight is still trapped. And I want to take it. Like that. Boom. And now I can just defend with the bishop. If I take knight, rook takes, then rook takes, they win the knight. If I move up, then they win the bishop. So I have to go this way. Then the best move is rook g2, attacking the knight. Oh, well, that is not the idea. Because then I'm just gonna checkmate. Knight f6. There is a checkmate here. Knight f6. Rook. And the checkmate is gonna be once they take, and we take on g1, my bishop is no longer pinned, and then the bishop can go here. Yeah. Boom. Okay, great. Now let's analyze. Let's click on the game review. Let's click on the game review. Okay. It's an interesting game. Allow. e4, e6. So far it's fine, but c6 is definitely for me an inaccuracy because you don't, even though computer says it's okay, for me it's an inaccuracy because you don't fight for the center, right? And now I get to put all my pawns in the center. I put the knight on c3, and after knight f6, I'm just taking it all. And I usually tell my students, whenever your opponent gives you the center, you want to take more of it. So you want to put, but looking at this position now, this was an accuracy, and instead I should probably just continue the development or like take. But take I don't like because it opens this thing. Yet like I might do something like this in a very French style. I don't like playing like that, so I would just put my knight out. I think that would have been the best thing. But c5 was a little bit over ambitious because of what I showed you during the game, is that here there is this key move, a5. And believe it or not, but after a5, black is better. Now, luckily for me, my opponent didn't play that. And had he played that, I would have to complicate things with b5, but it's still like unclear. Right, and here my opponent played bishop e7, but here this is not the same. Rook b1 now is good, prophylactical move. After the difference is that now if they play a5, you can play f3, and after takes takes, there is no rook takes rook, right? That's like the very typical way of how you can break through this pawn structure. So my opponent goes castle, bishop d3, and f6. Yes, there is this queen h5 that I was looking at. But after g6, I wasn't sure if I should sacrifice the bishop or not. And the reality is that computer says yes, I should, by simply improving my attack after rook b3, removing the knight and bringing the rook over, and as if there was nothing, knight c2, and there is the mate is inevitable. That's beautiful. Mate in 5. I didn't want to gamble on that, and I usually give this advice as well to everybody, is that whenever you are, or whenever you already have an advantage, you don't have to sacrifice to improve your advantage, because you're still gonna give psychological advantage to your opponent, right? It's like some like counter chances because you were sacrificing, you're taking risk. So you can only do that when you don't have any other alternative. Yep. So I played f4. I played f4, which is a second best move, but not the best. And capture is probably not as... Okay, computer goes into some weird ways of this. But after bishop a6, trying to trade the guy who's attacking. This is complex. My opponent takes the pawn, which is not the best, although it looks juicy. But yeah, and bishop g5 is just a blunder. And after this, technically we could sacrifice. Yes, indeed. And this could have been like even faster, and then bishop takes. Yeah, but the way the game continued, I just took the bishop, which is clear best, and yeah, this is just a game over. So I think the last mistake was taking on a f, which looked, of course, triggering, like intriguing to me as well for black, right? But it's just like luckily, it's not like luckily, but just because we have so much center, we also got more control, so we're safe here. Not always necessarily gonna be the case though, right? Okay, let's continue, and thank you, Taiko, for subscribing. We are going with the game number 2. New 5 minutes. I'm playing white again. Okay, c4, e6, d4, d6, not taking the center, e4. And now if I learned something from my previous endeavors, is that I should not rush into f4s, right? That would be my conclusion. But yet I want to do that. I mean, it's just too many pawns, right? I also am tempted by e5. e5, knight d7, 597, knight f3. Okay, let's go knight f3. Because see what it... Oh, a5. My opponent is definitely misplaying something here. Okay, now it's time for e5. Knight e8. That's so passive. How about we start the attack with h4 and knight g5? Knight a6. Okay. So what if we sacrifice and do the great gift? I think it works. Great gift. The idea of h4 was to bring the rook. I'm pretty sure it works. Let's go bishop h7. Boom. If not, we'll learn the lesson. Oh yeah, they don't take. Of course they don't take. We'll learn the lesson if not. So do they want to do g6 to block? Like if I play knight g5, g6. Probably. So let's remove the bishop here so that I could also play queens. Okay, this is f5. We can just en passant. Knight is going to come back, which is okay. Well, knight has to go there, yeah. And here we go with h5 and then h6. We want to open my rook. In this case, we don't even have to castle because we're using our rook to attack the opponent. Knight b4 doesn't threaten anything. Everything is protected. g6, bishop takes. Maybe rook g8 as an attempt. And then I don't want to give away the g2 pawn. Mind that the king is kind of like covered under this pawn. So this pawn is so-called an umbrella right now covering the king. The opponent's pawn is actually a protector, but that's only temporarily. I'm kicking the knight because I don't want my opponent's pieces, the opponent's pieces in my territory. And we can just develop the queen and attack the knight. Probably long term, I should just get the bishop out and castle long. That would be my plan. Depending on where the knight goes, I can put the bishop on g5. e5. Wait, but that's just a blunder. Thank you for the knight. My opponent thinks that they can open the e-file, but truth is, there is no danger there. I can just take... And of course, I don't have to take back, because then... Oh, actually, I can take back. Bishop, and then I go back. But I don't want to open that whole thing, right? I might just bring the knight to the attack. That seems better to me. Bishop g5. Well, now it's time, my friend. I think, well, let's think. Because bishop, and then I take with the knight, and then I take with the queen. So not... Oh, wait. There was the same idea as in the previous game. Queen g6, double attack on the bishop on g5, and the g7 mate. There is one move, which is bishop g f6, but then there is a bishop g5, pinning the bishop and the queen and threatening the mate still. And I don't see how they're going to get out of it. It's going to be good. Oh, shit. I blundered that check, yes. Oh, sharks. Oh, no. Oh, no, I blundered that check. Wait a second. Oh, my opponent resigned? Wait, why did you resign? Brilliant. Hey, Okay, I guess it's just that psychological. Okay, interesting. Let's see. Start the review. So c4. Let's analyze this game. e4. You know where I stand. I criticize, I condemn those decisions. And now, this time I didn't push the f pawn. I learned my lesson and I developed my pieces first. And that is correct. And now I could have castled, instead I pushed. And h4 is a fine move. I like to see that. And of course, bishop h7. Bravo, brilliant move. Go back. Bravo. Yeah, that's all good. Oh, here there was a stronger alternative, knight h4, taking with a knight. That makes sense. Oh yeah, makes so much sense. Yeah, this was a clean game, except for in the end, right? I mean, we were winning anyways, so what difference does it make? But queen e8 is a very good call when you're under attack. You want to trade queens because you want to avoid checkmate. Right, maybe my opponent objectively maybe shouldn't have resigned, but understandable. Okay, game number 3. e4, good move. Let's go c6, Caro-Kann, my favorite defense. d4, d5. Takes, pawn takes. Knight f3, knight c6. c3, bishop g4. Bishop e6. Oh, sorry, bishop e2, e6. Knight f6, short castle, knight f6. h3 goes back. I don't want to take the knight. It's not the point right now. Knight d2, bishop d6. Rook out, castle. Knight f1, knight e4, because they gave me the center. So I want to go in the center. My plan could be to push f5 as well. That's a good thing. I love that. Bishop d3, f5. I want to stabilize this knight in the center. Very important. All my pieces are out and I'm looking, and we're in the middle game, so I'm planning to improve it, right? I'm planning to improve it. Yes. How, like, people often ask me, Dina, what should I do in the middle game? And I say, well, what is your, like, first of all, do the check, the screen, the monitoring, have you finished the opening? Meaning not just your knights and bishops out, your castle, your center, but also have you connected your rooks by putting your queen like one step up? Have you brought your rooks to the center? Maybe have you made the window like the Luft, right? So you kind of always look at those things. And once you did, you should see how you can improve your pieces even more. Like, for example, here, my knight had this wonderful opportunity to go to the center and sort of like an outpost. This is not necessarily an outpost, but it is, in a way, an outpost, right? So that's good. That's great. Yep. Have you... My opponent was very confident and fast in the opening, and now he's thinking. I wonder if it's because they learned the opening, but they don't know what to do in the middle game, and the first thing they do is blunder. Although it's not necessarily blunder, because if I take the g3 pawn, my e6 is gonna fall, right? But the cool thing is that I can start with ruining my opponent's pawn structure, giving away the bishop, but now e4 is a real outpost. The definition of an outpost, it's a protected square with your piece on it, or like piece that can come there. And that, I'm thinking at the same time. I want to attack the g3. How? This way, nope. Like, they are definitely gonna play bishop f4. What if I do this weird move? Sometimes it's good to pin this pawn and also highlight b2 so that bishop doesn't go out and so that they cannot get, like... Yeah, I mean, obviously the best move is to get the king out. But now I bring my second rook to the game, right? The bishop still cannot do anything because there is the b2 pawn. Although, yeah, no, they cannot. So they have to spend time on that. So this is the outpost, right? Like, my opponent's pawns cannot get him. Cannot get this knight anymore. Now let's think strategically. How do we improve this position? Because they want to play bishop there. Now they do. And how do I stop it? I could probably play f5, e5, sorry. Can you show me? I could make a threat, one move threat. Knight b4. And get the bishop. I cannot take on d4, knight. Oh, actually, bishop takes and then knight takes, right? But then, oh, queen d1. Queen d1. Oh, queen b2 check. Rook. Oh, that's interesting. They can actually go down there. Oh no, they can go queen g2. Then there's gonna be a queen g2, and then both of our knights are gonna be attacked. So we're gonna lose that. That's not good. So we're not taking here. We're not taking there. So then we're going for this bishop, and then we're gonna go for the b2 pawn. That's good. That was my... okay, it was a one move trap, but I also put the rook on semi-open file, so it wasn't entirely wrong. And as I said, the outpost is when the pawns, your opponent's pawns, cannot get to your piece in your opponent's territory on the open file, oftentimes protected by your own pawns. That's the definition of the outpost. Like, such a strong piece. In Russian, we say sometimes forpost, but it's like similar. Yep, and this one is falling. What about e5? I don't think it was necessary, because also e-pawn is protecting these two pawns, right? So that was solid there. That was very solid there. Bishop e5. Okay, but now I can bring the rook in. And I'm afraid that this knight might fall. I'm legit afraid for that. Yeah. Okay, he is attacking my queen. I gotta do that right away. Now I'm more ambitious. I'm looking for ways to literally checkmate. Although there are probably no such ways. Rook c2, takes, rook's there. I could just take and take here, but yeah, I don't wanna let them... Oh, careful, because the queen might go here. If queen f2, then rook f1. If queen takes. If rook here, then takes, and the rook comes in. Yeah, I see the ways how my opponent could actually activate their position, and I don't like those ways. Let's try to keep it a little bit more complicated. So for now, we go with the rook. Queen takes, and rook b1. Yes, my plan didn't work. But that's okay. That's okay. What if I take here? Yes, they're gonna take that pawn. And unfortunately, I cannot win the knight because then there is the rook takes. But what I could do, and I don't have much time, is play bishop here. But yeah, that was my idea. And then g5 probably. You know, okay, I gotta play faster because I try to be fancy. I spend my time. Try to play good moves, spend my time. There. Can you show me? Oh, g4. Interesting. f4. Okay. Okay. Ay, 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 ay. Shit, I hope I don't lose here. Fuck. Ah. 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 Ooh. Scary. Ay, 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 ay. Ooh. Ooh. Okay. How did that happen? How did that happen? Okay, let's click on the game review. Let's click on the game review. The adrenaline kicks in. Okay. Oh, we got a raid from study time. Thank you so much for the raid. Thank you so much. I think there was one more thing. One sec. Ah, I think there was one more thing that I missed. Can you show me? Okay, actually, nope. Okay, fine. Eight. Okay, click start review. So e4. Yeah, that was a tough one. I agree. That was a tough one. I agree. d5. So far, this was all good. And then my opponent played well in the opening. Bishop d3 probably unnecessary. What's the best move here then? Knight e5. Trying to get back this pawn. Capture. Waiting if I take. Queen takes, and if I take. We cannot win the pawn because of... Oh, this is super complicated. What? How's that? How's that even? Oh, because then... Yeah, so there is like some pin here. Okay, but that's like, yeah, uneasy. So I go f5, which is a great move. And then I take, which is also good. Queen b6, not good. Queen b3, wow. Instead, I should take. Rook takes and go back. So I didn't want to... Like, I thought that pawn was important, but apparently this rook is just trapped. Maybe that's the thing. I thought that my e6 pawn was more important because it was the foundation of the outpost structure. Compared to g3, that's a double pawn. Right? That was my way of thinking. Yep. So that was the wrong call. Queen b3 is good. Rook, unnecessary. Well, so essentially, if I don't take the pawn, then I don't get the advantage, right? If I don't get the pawn, I don't take the advantage. Yep. I mean, I have this bishop f3. Bishop f3, queen takes. And then queen b6. But here queen b6 is not the same. Then my opponent fell into my trap. Oh, I should have taken. And then I should have... Oh, knight b4 is what I did, though. Brilliant. I know it's brilliant. And here it's not as brilliant. That's unfair. I took rook c3. And then here, engine says just grab and b6 and basta. And that's it. Yep. I agree. I'll look at that option. Why is this brilliant? Because they sacrificed the knight. Well, congrats to my opponent on making a brilliant move without probably realizing that, though. Or maybe they have. Who knows? So this is even. We start from scratch. Ooh. Even. Bishop d6, king f7. So I don't want to spoil my mood with that. Ha! Look at that. Bishop b5, and then there is a checkmate. Beautiful. In the endgame. Who said the endgame cannot be checkmated? In the endgame, you cannot be checkmated. Pretty much so. Okay. Time to scramble. GG's. Good game. Let's go for the next one. Let's go for the next one. So d4. d5, c4. e6, knight f3. Calls butt. a6, probably unnecessary. Let me try to get more center by going e4. Bishop b4, okay, fine. What if I push e5? Bishop d3. Actually, knight f3 would have been more flexible. Knight f5. Knight f3. I want to do g4. I want to do g4. I want to do g4. Or not. I could take. I could walk away. I could castle. Because if they take, I have queen g4. I could castle. Takes. And queen g4. Double attack. Back. Give me back that pawn, right? Oh, wait. But, bro. Okay. Game over. GG's. Yeah, unfortunately, even though you study your opening well, the first move you do on your own is a blunder. So then it shows you how it's not important to study all that openings if you are unable to keep up with the game. Checkmate. I did it sneaky, like bottom, you know, bottom, like down, so that they don't see the high diagonal, and it worked. But I'm pretty sure it was a bit messy. Here, let's see, as usually goes. e4, bishop b5. So the best would be takes, then bishop b4, knight c3, and then c5. That's the way to equalize. So my opponent goes here right away. I push, and that's too early because there is c5. I could feel it. Instead, I should... Bishop d2. That's a weird move. Okay, c5. Bishop d3 too early, again under c5. So I should play... Oh, here I could play c5 myself. Okay, that's interesting to know. I could play c5 myself. So I play bishop d3. Now again, they have to strike c5, attack the center, strike the center before it's too late. And that is already a slip. We take if... Let's say queen takes knight of 3. Okay, and if pawn takes, doesn't matter. Yeah, a3, everything. Okay, so I go knight of 3, and I castle because I saw this, and it worked! Great move. Oh, yeah. Okay. Got it. Next game. Shall we play Caro-Kann again, or should we try with c5? We can try with c5. Knight of 3. D4. Смысля. And then we're gonna put the... How about g6? I don't know anything about Sicilian, so I'm just gonna use my common sense and show you how you can figure things out on your own. Maybe. Or maybe I will not. Who knows? My opponents are so strong. My opponents are so strong. Okay, castle, I go here. Very impressive knowledge of theory for an 1100 rated player. I go a6. The main ideas in Sicilians are takes, probably, pawn takes. Bishop d3 back? That doesn't sound right. I would rather go e5, you know, more active. So now the main ideas in Sicilians are b5 or d5. Knight g4 is a nice attempt. Get the pawn and the bishop. Very important bishop. Daniel frequently recommended accelerated gambit. Oh, really? That's awesome. I didn't know that. Good to know. And then yeah, it's kind of probably easy to play when you were starting with the Sicilian, right? Probably easy to play. Thank you for subscribing, Kai. I guess we can take the bishops. It's important to get the bishops out. And then e5. And we got the center as well. And white doesn't have a center. Perfect. Yeah, the cool thing about the Sicilian is that whenever you're playing against a lower rated opponent, and if you understand, like much lower planet, yeah, lower rated, you understand how to navigate in any unknown opening because you know the principles, you can get ahead fast. Now the queen just moves around like a chicken with her head cut off. Should we continue the expansion? And then if yes, then how exactly? I kind of like this bishop f5, but I also am hesitant to put the pawn on f5. Let's put the pawn on f5 because we have this beautiful 4-pawn center foundation. Yeah, rook is good. We can do something like d4. Even though I don't attack the knight right away, it's okay because I'm gonna remove my queen and then the knight is gonna be attacked. I actually want to remove my queen and attack the bishop like this. 2 pieces are gonna be under attack. Knight from the pawn and the bishop from the queen, so that is gonna be good. That is gonna be good. Okay, queen out. Does my idea work or not yet? Could attack the queen though. Yeah, I think attacking the queen and then attacking the bishop with the knight should be the what I want. The thing that I want should be the thing that I want. Yep. Queen up. So let's do it. Shall we? The only thing I was worried was this queen, but then there's bishop f8. Oh shit! Silly me, I blundered this move because I pushed the e5 pawn. Oh my goodness. No way. Okay, whenever you're trying to go for a tactic, Very important thing is not to blunder. That's like a must. Yeah, if you blunder, okay, now I have to lock in again. Now I have to lock in again. Sometimes it does get like there is this thing that you kind of lose motivation when you're already there outplaying. Imagine if rook d1 that I take in the checkmate on e8. Only one. Oh, he saw it. So smart. How did he see it? I would still win the piece though, so I attack. But don't repeat that mistake that I do. The job is only done when it's done till the end. My opponent is being very smart. Very, very smart. Huh, you see? Now attacking the rook if I take the pawn. You gotta be careful. Smart and fast. b3. That is making me uncomfortable. Do I have to outplay? Like from scratch? It's gonna be very annoying. Yep. That is gonna be very annoying. And so fast and confident. So should have finished the job when I could. It's gonna be easier to go to the end game, I think, since he is so strong. With strong opponents, you always want to go to the end game. I'm not sure about that trade. I felt like the knight was stronger than the bishop. I felt like the knight was stronger than the bishop. You want to take the open file, the only open file in this endgame. And then I'm going to go queen d8, trade. Yeah, that's not an 1100 playing. That's just too good, too mature, too solid. That is just the level of understanding of what's going on. It's just too good. Probably can get that pawn though out of the way. I'm sure Ancient will find a draw here. Maybe not that clear. Here to draw. All these random queen moves. Up. Look at that. Look at that. Let's go here. Queen d5. Yep. Tougher. Too much choice. When too much choice, it's tougher to make a decision. And then queen b6. Queen a7. Go this way. Go this way. Careful. Trade. Trade. Okay. GG's. Oh, wait, I didn't... Sorry, guys. I didn't mean to start. I wanted to click on the game review. Okay, let's quickly play this game and then analyze 2 in a row, okay? I didn't mean to. Okay. Fine. This is the Caro-Kann, the typical Caro-Kann. I want to make a window for my bishop. Advanced Caro-Kann. Bishop takes is a mistake because you give away the bishop. I condemn it. I want to bring the queen out because it's a pressure and it's a protection for the c5 pawn. And I want to push c4 because I want to grab more space and I don't know where this knight is going to go. Yes, my king side is undeveloped, but it often happens in this opening. And don't worry, because the position is closed, there is no open file other than the b file, which is a semi-open file. Otherwise, there is no open file. So I'm going to be able to, I should be able to have time to develop. But my opponent can push the pawns and attack, which is also annoying. G4 is the right move here, although maybe I have h5, but then h3. Yeah, I have h5. I should be good. I have h5. Yep. Attack the rook. Bishop outpost, and then the knight in the important square that we desire. That we long for. And we go here. We go here. b3. If I capture, and I capture. Okay. Should we go hungry mode? I don't see, if they take, I take this rook, and b1 is protected. So we could go full hungry mode. Oh, sharks. Smart. Smart fish. He's using the other rook. Smart cookie. I mean, smart. You never know what's there smart. Let's go back. And let's develop. And let's cussle. We're safe. We still have an extra pawn. We should have had 2 pawns, but have an extra pawn. It's okay. Playing so fast and confident. Impressive. Very impressive. Knight c5. How is knight c5 gonna help the rook? Yeah, this guy, like, I barely have time to keep up with him. Should I push? I think I can push. No, 0 mistakes from white so far. Congratulations on that. A tremendous achievement. Feel like I'm playing with a master level player. Definitely the most underrated in the history of 1000. Definitely the most underrated in the history of 1000, 1100. So tough. So tough. Low connection. Attacking, of course. We'll move the queen away. I don't mind trading, because my pawn is going to promote. The idea when you have an extra pawn is to promote it, especially when it's a pass pawn. Where's the knight going? Is there like a path? Is there a direction for this knight? Yeah. Unfortunately, when you don't give much time to the engine, you just pick up like the first moves. Like it's often like, and especially if it's a browser engine, it's often not like necessarily not super precise, right? It can make inaccuracies. I think we already have queen b1 because if rook takes, we promote. Yep. Oh no, my queen! Oh my goodness. Okay, he didn't see that coming. Now I'm an exchange. I'm an extra rook. And now he's like, oh, Shit, that's not what the engine said. Yeah, the last two games are way too good for this level, but we'll leave it to their conscious. We'll leave it to their conscious. Yep. Rook attacks. I think I can just offer the trade when we are up material. We want to trade. Yep. And the knight is now trapped. So the only move is here, but then we take. And as I said, when we're up material, we want to take. We want to take. Up. 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 We bring the king. Bring the king. This is like showing the level is also like the difference between how fast you like when do you resign, right? How long you compete for. So okay, let's quickly take a look at this game. Yeah, very solid. I don't think white did ever any mistakes. As I said, this I don't like, but this is probably the first line of the engine for why. dc6 and bishop c6, so bishop c6 and now dc5, sorry, d takes c5. Castle wasn't the yeah, d takes c5 would be right away. Maybe yeah. Goes here. Queen f2. b3. Look. Oh, it's ih3. Oh, it's misread. b3. Yep, too good. Okay, I'm not gonna look at this because there's just nothing to look at. It's just literally nothing. I'm gonna look at the previous game, which was against the Indian guy. Game review. Star review. This was an interesting one. Also, why? Yeah, I think bishop. This was the mistake. Well, why do you do like the pawn is not attacked, so bishop d3 wasn't necessary. I think here just castle, right? Or like f3 is a very typical move to protect e4 and g4 for the knight from invasion, which happened in the game. In the game, I was looking at this, but then there was knight g4. Also looking at this here. Oh, then no, this is not possible. I don't know what I was saying. He takes. And a d5, of course. And this is just... Oh, boy, knight f3, beautiful. Forcing them to ruin their pawn structure, and then the bishop takes. Ruining them, they're forcing to destroy their king. This is worse. This is worse. And then they should have taken the bishop on g7 to avoid e5 with the tempo. And then bishop f5 would have been good, developing the bishop. I played my rook. Bishop f5, I was looking at it. Instead I played f5. I'm sure it's worse. Yes. d4 is worse. The better would be f4 and then here, because this is just so solid. I don't need to weaken it. Okay, these are imperfections. And then here, just, yeah, any other move, except for what I did, because it's a blunder. Okay, that one was tough. I'm pretty sure knight takes e6 is the first line of the ancient. Look at that. Okay. C5 first line. Queen b8 first line. Queen h8 first line. Queen g8 first line. Queen g7 first line. And now no time to look. because the move was g3, not king g3 that my opponent did. The right move was g3. Like he sees g3 and he brings the king. Okay. Yeah. It's okay, happens. Yep. Okay. You were looking at Russian Chess School of Chess tuition. What's the difference between one-on-one coaching and private lessons? So one-on-one coaching is in the tier 2, which is a premium tier, and it allows you to have your monthly checkup calls with your coach. They're usually 15 to 30 minutes long, and this every month you bring like 2 games for analysis, and you talk to your coach about your struggles, where your areas of improvement, and you kind of make a summary of what to work on. The one-on-one lessons, like private lessons, they are like a 60-minute lessons with your coach that you book separately, and you have once a week or like for a month of those. Scandinavian. So I don't like Scandinavian. I don't recommend it because it's against the principles of the opening in the Russian chess school, which is when you are bringing the queen out, as you can see here. Bringing the queen out. So unnecessary. I think there's already... Look. Okay, we have 2 options. Knight e5. Oh no, my queen, and then checkmate. Or or bishop f7, king takes f7, knight e5, and then we win the pawn and destroy the king. But the cool thing is that we might go fancy and say, oh no, my queen. And then, because they still have bishop e6, and then they save the pawn, and their king can castle. So technically it's worse, but do we want to do it for the memes? Should we go for the memes, knight e5? Or should we go for the pawn? Like, bishop f7 is better, but knight e5 is fancier. Memes. Oh no! My queen! Oh my gosh! I blundered the queen! What am I gonna do? No! My queen! Is he taking it? Ah! He didn't take my queen. But the meme worked, because now we actually win the piece. So my strategy worked. The only move that would save the piece and the pawn and the king would be bishop back to e6. Protecting the... Okay, it doesn't take. Bishop b4. Protecting the thing. I'm not gonna bring the queen out. Instead, I'm gonna pin him. Probably knight d7. Okay, this is a mistake. You should not give away your bishop. There was no need. The knight didn't want to do anything. Like, it couldn't move. I don't know why you decided that you needed to give that bishop. That's a typical mistake of beginners. Like, I even once like wanted to put it on my merge. We're beginners at chess. We don't trade bishops for knights without any reason. Yep. Go back here. My knight is protected. I'm confused. Who's attacking who? Takes and takes on f7. g5. Okay. I'm gonna bring my rook out. I might sacrifice soon. Okay, but where are you going? I'm just taking the pawn, thanks. And I really want to sack. I really do. I know it's protected. I'll go d5 because I have my rook here. Oh, the other rook comes in. Big deal. Queen h3. There's no threat. I want to take and destroy everything. Yeah, that's why I don't recommend Scandinavian. You're losing too much tempi. Bringing your queen out. Takes, king f8, just takes, brings the rook. Brings the rook. And Oh no, my queen! What have I done? Oh no! Oh no! My queen! My queen! Oh, why do I keep messing with this? I need to eat my muffin. My breakfast. Good call. Okay, let's go on the game review. Click on the game review. Start review. Ooh, I see already a brilliance. Yeah, essentially a6 is a mistake. And after that, the game is over. 95 is just as good. I love that. But the only move is bishop e6. Bishop takes, f takes. Oh, by the way, did someone clip that moment? We might want to... I don't know if we need it, but from my speed run. Yeah, maybe we need it. If someone could put it in the chat, would be great. And then we just castle, and the idea is that, first of all, their pawn structure is destroyed, but they also, like, how are they going to develop? How are they going to castle? They need to play g6, queen f3, and if... Oh, attacking here. c6, queen h3, queen c8, knight takes g6. Oh my god, beautiful. Yeah, they literally don't have time for that. Beautiful. Because I was, yeah, I didn't see all that. I was just looking into alternative would be takes, check, takes here, and we want a pawn and the king is out. I mean, same evaluation. But this is, yeah, and the idea for those who didn't see, it's a checkmate. And my opponent, yeah, blundered that. Because obviously here the right move would be e6, but the position is still worse. That's what I mean. Like, don't play... Like, Scandinavian should be banned for 1100s. It's such a bad opening. Such a bad opening. It's only, like, acceptable for grandmasters who are, like, know what they're doing and who are taking a worse going into a worse position voluntarily to confuse their opponent. And they know how exactly they're going to confuse your opponent. You. Let's go. Okay, e4, d5, knight c3, and then this, and then that. Whoa, what the hell is this? What? Like, I literally just... Oh my goodness. How is that gonna work? What is f3? How is this gonna work? I don't understand. What the hell? c3? c5? Okay, you're fake developing. You're not really developing. It's probably just a ready check. Only move. The knight only move. Yes. And how are you planning to develop? Let's go with an 8. Where is the queen going? I don't get it. I don't get anything that's going in this game. Okay. Knight on f4 is like monstrous. Knight b3. Bishop h3, maybe? Because I want to go on a3. And I develop. Shit. Oh, okay. I think my last move was a mistake, though, because there's bishop f4. Yeah, somewhat a mistake. Definitely somewhat a mistake. Okay. Let's go this. And just collect all the pawns. Let's just do this. Repeats up, so that's fine. Bring the knight. Bring the knight. Thought I was going here. Bring the knight. Bring the knight. Bring the rook. Bring the rook. Hey, come on. Okay. No checkmate, right? The knight is bent. So we gotta take the rook. Right. No checkmate. No checkmate. Checkmate. Great. What was that? What was that? I play often Caro-Kann, but not just Caro-Kann. In general, I don't focus on concrete openings, but rather opening principles. And f3 is violating an open principle. So I'm taking, and then 92 is another violation of the opening principle because you should never put your knight in front of the bishop, never block like one piece by another. And after d4, like, look at this. Like, white only needs to put this knight back. So let's see how, g5? Or h5. That's insane. Okay, I would never guess that. I would just go f5. And then this is also... I noticed ancient doesn't like overextension, which is like so curious to me. So I played this way, and then queen h c5 is fine. Bishop e6 or knight e7. That's interesting. Like, computer is being conservative. Ancient is being conservative once we start getting space, because this is... Come on. And now f4, white can save their ass? How is that possible? Oh, because knight comes to f3. Wow. Wow. So essentially, I should just chill and not play... h5. g5 is unbelievable. I mean, to stop and then h5 and then h4. Wow. And an f6? Are you freaking... Okay, this is not... No. I ain't playing like that. Okay, this is unbelievable. Actually, I'm just frustrated with the engine because I understand. Like, I believe that he's right, but queen h4 here could be an option. But queen h4 should be fine, but then I have to do good. Okay, I have to do this to stop f4 because if now f4 takes knight f3, I have queen g4. And did I not have it with my knight on f6? Wait a second, what's the difference here? Knight f5. And after bishop f5, rook g1. Oh my goodness. And in the other line, if you compare, this is how you should analyze with the engine. If you play knight f5 here, then after knight takes f5, rook g1, you have the... Hold on a second, what do you have? Takes. Queen takes. Okay, and now we go back to this line. No. We go back to this f4 line, rook g1, and rook g5. So yeah, so it's just an extra protection of the f5, and that's why they're getting it. Wow, okay, this is so deep. But yeah, sometimes when you don't understand the line, try to compare what would happen in the same sequence, but had you chosen your move instead of the engine move, and that's how you kind of figure out what's the difference. It's a kind of, I would say it's a research type of work, usually working with an engine, like doing your research, like a paper research. And this is, of course, a mistake. I knew it was a mistake, because then just bishop takes. And after that, we go in 82, and like, yeah, no, don't trade. Don't trade when you were attacking. Instead, a5 is random. Like knight c6, no risk. Knight c6 is good. And if knight f5, I can take g6. Kick the knight out. Okay, we're good. Yeah, but like usually I wouldn't even want to trade queens. So yeah, just probably the best shot is just develop castle, and once you got everybody out, like I teach, right, bring all the pieces in, then you go for the attack. Okay. And then what happened in the game is my opponent, instead of playing bishop takes f4, which would have been the right move, bishop takes f4, they blundered the knight. They thought that the pawn was free, but it's not, brother. It's not. And then this was a clean, very clean. Okay, guys. Welcome back, everybody. 1170. Let's go. Our grind shall continue. A little bit of country music. We're playing white pieces. E4. Our opponent goes D5. We go C4. G6. Well, that's not a great move because now they have to develop their queen or they're down a pawn. G7 really not great because they are down a pawn. Knight F6. I pushed the second pawn. I got the center control. Knight F3. Short castle, Knight F3. Bishop G4. That doesn't really offend me. I go Bishop E2. I stop the pin and I prepare the castle C6. He wants to undermine our pawn, but then we push. Knight develops, but we can continue pushing. We are a pawn up. We are a pawn up. That is an important reminder to everybody. Pawns are important. Knight to B4, no threat. We castle. We're safe and sound here. We are safe and sound here. And my opponent goes queen to C7. We can just develop our bishop on E3. That's good. The reason I'm playing blitz is because I still believe that my opponents are relatively, beatable with 5 minutes and explaining the moves. But the higher we go, we might potentially switch to longer time controls. I'll see. We will see. Bishop H5, no idea. Maybe Knight G4, but vague. I can put the rook in front of the queen. X-ray. And now I can offer a trade of this powerful bishop. Keep in mind that Queen H2 is a blunder. It's not a threat. Bishop to H6. Interesting. Very creative way to attack my rook. Avoid the trade. What we could do is Knight to B5. Attack both the queen and the rook. Oh, but then queen takes. Careful. I cannot blunder that. Oh no, that's unfortunate. It looks like I have to move my rook away. Oh, that's really annoying. But I'm looking at this H3 because if bishop takes rook, then I take the knight and I attack. Bishop B2. Oh, then bishop B2 would attack. Oh, then knight B5. Queen moves and I take. I like that. Let's do that. I'm attacking H3 the knight. I want to get 2 pieces. Oh, or the rook, and 2 pieces are better than the rook, and that's why I'm giving away the rook. That's why. Let's see what he's gonna do. Bishop takes. Well, then I just take the bishop, and as I told you, I have 2 pieces for the rook, 2 minor pieces for the rook. So it's perfect. And plus I have dark squares. My queen is gonna get on H6, and I'm gonna deliver a solid checkmate. A very solid checkmate. A5. Is A5 for? We go for the win. F6 only move. But then we might go Knight G5, and they have to defend. Surely Rook F7 only move. Oh, E5. Wow, beautiful. Ooh, look at that. Oh my goodness. And now if I do en passant, they can take, and there is no longer... Oh, but I can take this bishop. But if I not en passant, then they take my bishop. And once again... attack. And then my knight is attacked, and I have no threats. So I might just take the bishop, because I don't want to lose. Thank you, General, for the sub. Thank you, C'est moi, for the sub. Check is good. Unfortunately, I cannot grab this for now, but what I can do is this little attack. And if Queen G7, then I take, and then I take, and I bring my rook, and I checkmate. Yep. That would be good. I want to take this pawn on g7. With queen back. Queen back. Nice. Yeah, that makes sense. Let's think. We don't have any immediate... Oh, we could sacrifice the queen for the rook and then take, and they have to give away the rook. Oh my god, that's so beautiful. And we'll win exchange. Boom! They sacrifice my queen! Queen takes, and now bishop takes, and it's a check, and they have only one move. And now we're clear piece up. We're clear piece up. Yep. And then the queen takes, and the rook takes. Oh, we can kick this knight. Oh, thank you so much for 700 South African something. Appreciate that. My opponent is trying to stay alive. Okay. How's it going? Have a good weekend, you too. Are you actually South Africa? Knight again, being so nasty. Can develop the rook. Hello, hello. Hello, hello. Hello, Justin. Good to see you. Justin, thank you so much for 37 months Prime. Oh my goodness. That's so long. That's longer than all of us. Where should I? Maybe in the knight attacking the rook. And then I want to... Ooh, that's not helping. Just gonna promote b5. Well, I'm just gonna promote. You can take that if you want. You can totally take that. It's not a problem. And I promote. And it's time for you, my friend, to resign. 96. It's not scary. Actually, I just realized he could have went away, but then I would sacrifice the queen check. Great defense, but this is not gonna last forever. Oh no, watching from the ambulance. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, what happened? Oh no. What happened? We can protect. Oh no, my pawn on b3. Oh my god, I blundered my pawn on b3. How could I? Ay, he's gonna take it. For my symphony. What's your highest rating currently? It is the country music. Guess I can bring the king back. Wait, my rating. I said currently it's the country music. My rating 2600 on chess.com. Bye, sweetheart. Bye. There's nothing to review in this game because my opponent did a mistake in the opening, a serious mistake of playing g6 first and then not taking the pawn. He should have taken the pawn at least. Yeah, but g6 is already very bad. Or like engine says knight f6 and then knight d5. Yeah, that's the best. That's the best. Okay, I agree. And then we transpose to... So g6 inherently is not as disastrous. Is not as such a disaster if you go knight f6 later. Although maybe I can try something like queen a4. Yeah, queen a4, c6, and I'm still up a pawn. Oh, I love that. I love that. So that's kind of a way how to get an advantage for white. But my opponent played bishop g7 and then just knight c3 and then a4. And that's over. Okay, I did a brilliant move. What was that? I think it was knight g5. What was my brilliances? Knight g5 brilliance and queen f8 brilliance. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much. Okay, next game. d4. Let's go with c6, Karakan. d4, d5. Bishop f5. Thanks for the $2 donation, Mr. Hayoka. And c3. We could do c5. Bishop e3. We could do knight c6. We could... What's the best opening for black? Against what? Against what start? When people ask this question, what is the best opening for black, they all the time forget to precise against what move. Okay, and then the knight comes in. Hello, hello. Yes, I think I had one loss. I think so in that speedrun so far, and I developed my bishop. I developed my bishop. On push-ups, I castle. Don't say bad things. Don't say bad things. Let's see the chess every system. Yep. Okay. Oh! Oh, yeah. Okay, I have to take, but then I win the pawn. Oh, that's perfect. That's wonderful. I won the pawn. Knight or... I have to do with the queen, because if I do with the knight, then there is bishop Pini, and even knight f3, king g2. Knight h4, king g3, and I'm losing my knight, so I have to take with the queen. And I take. Thank you. You push? Oh no, your bishop! Oh my goodness. What happened to your bishop? Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. How did that happen? We bring. Can we grab another pawn? Because it's another park. My daughter likes to solve puzzles, but she has struggled to play competitive chess. Yes, you should, absolutely, because what is it for to do puzzles if you don't compete? You should just kind of start like step by step. Like, what is she? Is she not a competitive child? Is she not a competitive person? Triple fork. Maybe. Whoa, he fell for that. He fell for that. And I take. Still helps, but indeed gotta check. Up. Still helps. And then I check. Oh, okay. Good job, good job. Let's look at the game. Okay. Start the review. So e4, c6, Caro-Kann, this was fine. My opponent let me do everything I want in Caro-Kann. Knight h6, usually Engine might suggest bishop takes, right? Yeah, Engine loves giving away the bishop and destroying this pawn structure, but it's a playable position, so I don't mind it because it's pluses and minuses. But after, potentially like this is just worse for white because I got to do everything I wanted, and even would be better just to take. And then bishop a3, nice. So I played this. And then I castled, and I should have taken. I should have taken, because when I castle, they can take here. And, oh, sharks. This is losing. Oh my god, I'm losing a bishop. No. No, no. What about the rook? Why timeout? You gotta ban this, people. Why timeout? Justin, you were too nice. G4. Okay. You found out that you're going to be a father. Oh my goodness. Congratulations. Okay, I am going back. Yes, here I misplayed it. So I should have taken again, damn it, because I'm attacking the bishop. But when I go here, once... Oh, this is just a blunder, because they can just take the pawn. But instead they go knight f3. I go back again, mistake, I should have taken. So every single time white should have taken, and this is a definitely, yep. Wow. Wow. Interesting game with lessons for both of us. Okay, thank you for the game. Let's play the next one. D4. And then c4. It takes, and then e4. Queen's Gambit accepted. Okay. And then we grab. Or, yes. H6, that's definitely an inaccuracy. That is definitely an inaccuracy. And then I go this way. Giving away the bishop? I'm not sure about that. Can I develop side castle? Oh! Oh! Fucking shit! You're so bad! You gotta focus! Ah! You gotta focus! What are you doing? Ah! Sharks. What are you doing? Why did you give away this bishop? Fuck you. Why did you give away this pawn? Why am I calling a bishop a pawn? Oh my gosh. You're starting to play chess by watching my videos? Really? Queen f6 is a good move. That's unbelievable. That's incredible. Shit. Shit. I gave away 2 fucking pawns for that shit. What if I push d5? He can cat. Oh, I can stop him from castling. Oh, I love that. Yep. Oh, knight c6 must be... I can just take... Or... I can bring the rook. Kind of want to burn the rook. Knight d5? Yeah, that's what I was thinking. And then I take. And then I just jump knight d7 and win the queen. On the spot. Oh no, there's my queen that's on air. No, but I win the knight. Because I take. Yeah, that's okay. Not the most impressive game by mine. Oh, not knight e7. Let's just check. And mate. Wow. Oh! Shit. Shit. That's not what I meant. Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry. Oh my god. I thought. Oh god. I thought he was gonna move the king. I pre-moved. It's okay. I'm still winning. It's okay. It's okay, Dina. You got this. I am missing some pawns, though. Ugh. Oh. I was just winning that thing. Yeah. Okay. F4, we're gonna bring the king. F4. We're gonna move the king. H5 is good. G3 and then H3 because I don't want them to do H4. If I do H3, they go H4, so I have to do G3 first. But then I cannot do H3, damn it! B5. Yeah, he's being annoying as hell. How about rook c5? Because now, how am I? And then now a3. I want to stop them on the light squares, the same squares as their bishop. Because that way the bishop is dumb. King c6. Boom. That was a blunder. Thank you. GG's. Takes and double attack for both pawns. Oh, careful. Oh, I thought of something. So look here and I take b4. I take an a3. And I have no way to stop that pawn. That would have been a killer. He didn't find it though. And then I do king. I still cannot do h3. How do I... Maybe I just go f5 and then I take. Yeah, that's the way. And I take. So I take here. He has to go bishop g6. But then I'm gonna push d4. d5, sorry. Yeah. And I can even sacrifice the rook if I want to. Yeah. Or I don't have to. Push. Takes. We do the start review. And we do the review. So this was fine. This was bad. I got the beautiful position. This is unnecessary. I always tell my students we're beginners at chess. Don't trade bishops for knights. So don't do that. And then of course I should probably just push the pawn. Bishop d3, queen d3, queen a2. Yeah. Bishop d3. Should we? Oh yeah, we should do that. Okay, so, and then I pushed. I didn't push. So, castling. 1 second, chat. We're ready. We are ready. I need to do the word. Takes, right? I use a filter. That's what I use, a filter on my camera. So, I played the castle, which is inherently not as bad. He takes on e4. I go... knight e5. He goes... knight c3, which is like so bad. And queen f3 is just winning on spot because it's a double attack. Damn. So then I play queen g, which is okay. Bishop a3 correct. And here knight c6 is good. Rook e1 is not as good because there's a6. What is a6? Oh my god, what is this other one? Thumbnail. Size. That's like a blunder. Oh my god, this is such a horrible game. Like rook e7. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. We continue. Let me take a pause. Alright, next game. Let's go. We're playing white pieces. D4. D6. E6. Ooh, E6. Do you want to play the French? E4. Oh yeah, you want to play the French. Let's go knight c3. Well, c6 is definitely a waste. What? What am I watching? Never play f6. Don't you know, Mr. Ben Feinstein? Why would you do that? Who taught you that? E7 castle. Knight g6, we go rook. Okay, we go rook. So we can take, violating all the principles. What about h4 and then h5? Putting knight twice, like moving twice, develop piece, playing f6, giving me away the piece. Yeah, that's the 1100, I would guess. No, that's actually not, yeah, that's not very strong, honestly, for 1100. Yeah, maybe someone who started playing recently or who has 1100 in rapid, but it's, yes, better to resign. Good call, good call. Start review. D4 e6, d4 d5, knight c3. First mistake c6. Even though computer says it's fine, I find it is a mistake because your idea is to play c5 and then you would have to lose tempo with this. Then you do knight f3. Okay. F6 is just horrible. Like, so bad. Never do that. And then knight e7 again, bad. Castle. And I should already start h4. Honestly, I could start h4 even before castling here to prevent knight g6. So castle, then rook e1. And then h4 here. And after castle, I would push h5. They would have to go knight h8. Then computers, oh, I can take or take. What is take for knight e5? Oh, knight e2. Knight e2 is interesting. Transferring the knight, okay, but then my opponent gave me the knight and resigned, which is a fair move. Okay, that's good. Next, and we're... Oh, by the way, everybody, congratulations on 1200. e4, c6. Stop wasting your time with random opening traps. They don't make you a better chess player. What does? One-on-one guidance, group classes, and a complete training program designed specifically to your level. Try my Russian chess school for free for 7 days and see for yourself.